Now, one of the things that I'm also very well aware of is while we did get a fresh puppy up and it's going to be heading towards a druid, it's hamstrung. So at this point, the druid's going to be able to get in a bit of drinking before the puppy or my warlock even have a chance of getting to him. So what there actually is sort of a comedic string of their druid making a run for it, followed by the puppy, followed by my warlock with the warrior pulling up the rear, trying to keep my warlock from catching up to his druid and, of course, hamstringing. Now, one of the things I know is during this time, no one's paying attention to where I am. And since I know their druid's going to be getting in drinks, I'm doing the exact same thing on the ground, just trying to keep up with the other druid's mana. And, of course, taking every opportunity I can to drink, even if it's just for a split second. The whole time, though, I'm also watching what's going on up top. I'm watching the health of the puppy as well as the health of my warlock. One of the things you'll also see is after the warrior hamstrings my partner, he of course tries to run ahead to get to the puppy. Since I've gotten to 95% mana, I decide to re-stealth and prowl over to try to get a free CC with pounce on either the warrior or the druid. And they're starting in on the pet, so I end up deciding that I'm going to take a bite out of the warrior and start CCing him for a little while and get some hots running on the pet as well. At this point, a bunch of my CC's up, so as we jump off the bridge, I also land a bash right around the time that my partner does a death coil, which isn't the best communication, but gets the job done. And then I rid him in place to try to buy my partner some space to be able to continue chasing the druid. Since I assume that the warrior is going to try to catch up to the other druid by going for me, I switch to bear here for a split second, which is perfect timing. And you can see right as I do that, the other druid innervates. While I wouldn't say the other warrior is particularly low, I can tell that the other druid is coming back to probably drop some hots on his partner and then run away. So what I do here actually is cyclone the warrior, meaning that the hots from the other druid and the other healing spells and such won't land on the warrior. Sort of like a wonderful pause button. So when you know that the other team is going to go in and try to heal just by sort of like a drive-by healing, I guess would be the best example of what it is. It's really good because it puts them in a panic, meaning that they couldn't accomplish their goal. Because here probably what the other druid was intending to do was just heal and then run back across the bridge. But instead he has to sort of make an extra loop and stay near his partner so that he can heal him once the Cyclone goes away. The other thing is, if he's casting heals, even if they're denied by Cyclone, that means that he's spending mana on something that's actually giving him no benefit whatsoever. One of the things that ends up happening from this is that my partner is able to get in some good damage on the druid as well as a couple mana drains, meaning that both the druid and the warrior have less than 50% health or so for a little bit, putting them both in a panic where the druid's having to make quick decisions on who he's going to heal and such. And the more that we can put them on the defensive, the better it is for us. Sadly, we weren't able to get a kill there on the druid as he still had a few tricks up his sleeves and cooldowns. You also see my partner LOS one of my regrowths by accident. That's one of the things where communication comes in extremely handy to be able to call out that we're doing a long cast or something, so we need to stay in LOS. The same thing applies to my partners trying to get off of fear. I need to make sure that I'm keeping their opponent in LOS. So at this point, one of the things we've actually started doing was we're really starting to separate the two of them, which is just really great. And at this point, we still sort of have the upper hand since we've gotten them both to 50% a minute or so earlier. And since I see that my warlock's taking damage, I quickly cyclone the druid to make sure that he can't get any heals while I go back and quickly get my partner up to speed. And hopefully CC the warrior while I'm at it. The other thing you'll see here is I see the druid's going across the bridge, so I decide that while I'm up there, my Cyclone DR should be reset, so I run up the bridge intending to sneakily CC the druid so that we can keep the druid and the warrior separated once again. The only problem is I get a Cyclone resist. So even though I start casting sooner than the other druid, it doesn't matter because I get Cycloned. Plus side is him taking an extra second and a half to cast Cyclone on me when neither myself, my partner, or my partner's pet are in peril is actually allowing my partner to put further DPS on the opposing warrior. One of the things you'll also see here is that the other druid spent a whole bunch of mana putting a whole bunch of hots on his partner. And what I actually should have done is I should have cycloned his partner to keep those heals from actually ticking, because I really didn't think we'd be able to do more damage than those heals would be able to heal him for. But instead, one of the things I decided to do here was for me to start DPSing the warrior as well, which just accomplishes the same goal. It negates the healing over time spells that are on the warrior. And the other druid has to stay nearby in order to keep his warrior alive. Since the other druid is so behind in healing, we also know he's going to be trying to toss some large heals and possibly CCS. So one of the things that my warlock partner does here is he takes the long way around the column to make sure that the opposing druid doesn't have LOS on his partner, nor on my warlock himself. The only problem is that by this time we've gotten them so low that the druid's not able to catch up on healing on both of them, and all of his cooldowns by this point are up. So we're able to pull off a clean kill. In any case, thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Hopefully you found some useful bits of information. And I put up a new frequently asked questions page on my website, so if you have any questions, feel free to check that out and see if it might be of help. I'm planning on trying to get caught up with some videos from the end of Season 3 as well as some stuff from Season 4, so that'll be coming up in the future. Sadly, my primary warlock partner has decided to retire his warlock, and my secondary warlock partner has decided that he's not as interested in playing in the competitive level this season, so you're probably going to see an assortment of videos in the future with myself and not only some new partners, but also playing with somebody else of my warlock partner and some old friends, so it should be a lot of fun. Thanks again for all the wonderful feedback and encouragement, and I hope Season 4 is treating all of you really well. Until next time!